Or cutting down Singaporean sodium consumption by 15% over 5 years, or the equivalent of a quarter teaspoon of salt less each day. And that's what the Health Promotion Board hopes will turn the tide on rising hypertension, a condition that increases the risk of cardiovascular disease. Sherlyn Xiao with this report.
Singapore is a food paradise, but as more people dine out or order food deliveries, consumption of sodium has also gone up to unhealthy levels. Singaporeans consume nearly 2 teaspoons of salt each day, or an amount of sodium almost double World Health Organization recommendations. 3/4 of this comes from salt added during food preparation.
Sodium intake has also increased, and more than about half, 50% of the sodium intake comes from salt, and the other 25 are sauces and seasonings. So with this strategy, there are 3-pronged. We want to first focus on substituting salt by replacing the use of regular salt with lower sodium salt.
Low sodium salt, such as potassium or K salt, has about 30% less sodium than regular salt. But these products are also pricier, so HPB is working with supermarkets to put more affordable options on the shelves next month. It's also working with them to introduce house brand low sodium salt by next year. It's hoped this can buck the rising trend of hypertension, which affects 1 in 3 Singaporeans currently, up from 1 in 4 in 2017.
If you reduce your sodium, your blood pressure should decrease, which ultimately will reduce your risk for developing cardiovascular disease. There have been several large studies looking at the use of, for example, potassium salt as an alternative, and they found no safety signals, meaning it was generally safe to use and there were no adverse effects.
HPB is also hoping F&B players will make the switch. To start, it's providing grants to suppliers of low-sodium salt to increase production of these products and sell them at lower prices.
The bottom line is volume. Where there's enough volume, the price should be affordable to almost every family. The cost is about at least three times more. But in the final retail pricing, I think that ratio can be maintained.
Close to 150 caterers have already switched to using low-sodium salt and sauces, and more are expected to come on board.
Previously, it was like 10 to 15 times more expensive than the regular salt. But now is, I would say, 1 to 2 times only. We don't really need to tweak the recipe. It's actually just replacing the salt and to actually get the same taste of it.
HPB is setting its sight next on hawker centres, and stallholders seem to open to change.
我们卖的都蛮便宜的，假如说1倍的话，就有点不大适合这样咯。它的味道煮出来，不会像什么咯。那假如每个人都是用种盐的话，还可能会考虑一下啦。
大概1倍还可以接受，因为现在的盐都用的很少嘛。
Other food service operators like food courts will also be asked to switch to low-sodium salt.